Welcome back, everybody. It is time for our lightning round when we explore the week's top stories in lightning fast fashion. Let's say hello to our Ebru think tank, Dr. Bart Rossi, political psychologist Jose Lopez, physics professor at Seton Hall University. I think I'm channeling Lloyd Lindsay or something. Hello, Milburn. Jeanette Hoffman, Republican strategist, plotting to take over the world. Let's talk about the women's soccer team. Yay! They beat Japan. People were screaming and cheering in a ticker tape parade. What are your thoughts?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's my big takeaway. It was just such a great day for our country, for women's sports, for these amazing young women. 23 players, 4 of them hail from New Jersey. I'm from Jersey, so I got some big Jersey pride there. It was just phenomenal. It was wonderful to see.
Jose?
Revenge after losing to Japan last time, and now 5-2. So wonderful game, and really happy for them. And that they got a ticker tape parade. That is well deserved.
All right, and they're the champions now.
The world champions.
Yep, just great for women. I think it shows what women can do as a team and individually. I think it's great.
Okay, so no dissent there. I was going to make one little joke. Do you think the top high school men's soccer team,
Logan, don't even
go
soccer,
there.
this is America. What are you talking about?
Okay, so
Why be a wise guy?
maybe if I go to Brazil, we'll find a good team. All right, the South Carolina flag coming down. I know Jeanette was opposed to this, but no, I'm just kidding. I know, okay, it's a serious topic. I'll put on my serious face. Okay, the flag coming down, what are your thoughts?
I think it was needed. Sure, it's not going to solve all of our problems with race relations and racism, but the flag has, a symbol for some people as segregation and racism. So I think it's very appropriate that Nikki Haley ordered it to be taken down. Other Republicans have done so in the past. Jeb Bush took it down from Florida's Capitol, about 10 years ago. So I think it just had to come down.
I mean, the government represents the people, and this is a legacy thing. Look, if you want to drive around in your orange Dodge Charger and with the flag on top of it, that's another thing. But when you have the government representing this, it's another story.
Dr. Bart.
Definitely a step in the right direction. I remember John McCain, one of his best moments when he ran in 2008 was when he said, I made a mistake. And the mistake was I should have said something about the flag in 2000. And he was right about that. And I gave him a lot of credit for speaking up. And now I think he probably feels that, he was right. And he should have said something. It would have helped them.
Yeah. The Civil War was over a long time ago. The people in the South need to get over it. The war's over. You lost. The flag comes down. End of story. Let's talk about something else coming down. The statue of Bill Cosby at Disneyland, Disney World, one of the Disney parks.
Yeah. Also, definitely needed to come down. I mean, the stories that are coming out now are just horrific and very sad for the victims. And I don't think Bill Cosby has a place in Disney World or anywhere else in American culture right now.
Yeah, he's a shocking creep.
It's
because he was America's dad. Now he appears to be allegedly.
Allegedly, I mean, you're not guilty until proven. I mean, we haven't seen that, but yeah, I mean, Disney World is a place for families, and this is an issue. I mean, we saw this at Penn State with Joe Paterno, the great football coach there, and his statue came down too after what happened there.
It's interesting. Somebody said that if these allegations prove to be true, he will be the most prolific serial raper in the history of the United States, which is crazy. Rapist.
Terrible.
Yeah, what disturbs me here is that there are so many good sides to his personality that he demonstrated, and such a terrible side that now is coming out. And I always say that we all have different sides and we need to work on them, but this is a side that is really beyond the pale of reason.
It's just evil.
Yeah. And it's also strange how it was kind of like, I would think, covered up, or victims were ashamed to come forward. There's a lot there. Yeah, it is hard to go against America's dad, Huxtable, whatever his first name was. Okay, a big popular name right now among children being birthed is Elsa.
Yes.
From the movie Frozen.
Oh my gosh, I have a daughter who's going to be 9, and I've seen Frozen way too many times.
Does she sing Let It Go all the time?
She sings Let It Go. Do you want to build a snowman? Yeah, so
How do you punish her for that?
I close the door.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have a 5-year-old daughter too, and we've seen the movie it's about 1 million times easily. I'm not obviously counting too many times. And she has the shirts and the coloring books and everything. So yeah, it's a ripple effect of society what Frozen has done. And I love the message of the movie. So
and there's a Frozen ride coming too in Epcot.
Oh really? Yeah. Okay, I'll have to try that. Doc?
Very simply, I just think this fun stuff is great. Great for kids, great for families. Probably need more of it.
Okay, gluten-free food. Doctor, what's going on here? Do we need to watch our gluten, or is this a bunch of hype?
I think this study that just came out is basically saying it is all great marketing. So Madison Avenue once again has come out. I mean, you ask the average person, what is gluten? No one has any clue what gluten is. It's a protein that you get in wheats and in breads and stuff. And some people have an intolerance to it. It's a very, very, very small minority of the world's population that does. But all of a sudden, we have to get rid of it everywhere. You know, you have the Novak Djokovic, the Wimbledon champion, or potentially he's playing tomorrow, Roger Federer. And he said he got off gluten, and all of a sudden he becomes a great tennis player. So you have this going all around, and that it's doing something. But this study is showing that look, if you have a cake that has no gluten and another one that has gluten, and they both have a tremendous amount of sugar and you eat them, they're both unhealthy.
Right.
It's not going to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, celiac disease is a real condition, and those people certainly must avoid gluten, but I think it's the newest diet trend. I mean, we had the low-fat diet craze in the 90s, and we had the no-carb Atkins craze, and now
no
we're...
caffeine.
Yeah,
right.
then we have Weight Watchers. Now that the new trend is gluten-free stuff, and the marketers are making a bundle off of it.
Doc, why do we latch on to stuff like this?
Well, I think the psychology goes down a certain way, and it's overdone, it's overcooked. And people buy into it, and then what happens? It grows even more, and it kind of gets exponential, and it doesn't make sense. I mean, how many people, like you say, how many people really know about gluten? And I think it's just really a very small number of people who are affected by it, and now they're making a big deal out of something that's relatively a small issue.
And there was another report this week, which was that textbooks in Texas schools barely touch upon segregation. I saw that. Kind of struck you, Doc.
Well, yeah, you know, when it comes to Texas, I have to say, I know they're part of the United States. I get that, but I really do think they're another country. I think there's someplace else there. I mean, they have their own way of thinking.
But isn't that the beauty of the United States, that each state has its own personality, its own laws, its own way of doing business? You don't have to live in Texas.
That's true, and I think my point here is that it's probably a little bit more extreme than many other states. Not only do they have their own personality, they have their own way of looking at life, and it's very different in Texas. And having textbooks that are really not with history is kind of bizarre to me.
Jose?
Yeah, I mean, history is one of those things you can bias in whatever direction you want, and that's the problem that you have there. And that's the problem with education. I mean, you can educate someone to be a wonderful person from whatever relative perspective that might be, or a horrible person there. So I think it's an age-old question. It's not a Texas question. It's going to be around for haunting humanity and civilization forever, this question.
Yeah, I would think the parents in Texas, there has to be some reasonable parents, would protest to their Board of Education and say this is not right. And I think there's other criticisms of those textbooks that, you know, certain aspects of Middle East relations were kind of glossed over. There was a criticism
segregation,
that too much attention was paid to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in this textbook. So I think that's something for the Texas Board of Education to sort out on its own, but it should be interesting to see.
Are we becoming too race-centric, too race-focused? I mean, maybe we need to stop looking at our differences and start looking at our commonalities, Doctor.
Well, I like the fact that people under 40 really don't have these problems. They're not interracial. Most of them are not racist. They don't harbor a lot of these feelings.
But you wouldn't know it from watching TV, because all you hear is the white cop, the black this, the white that, the black this.
Most of them have a spirit that relates to community and being community-minded and love thy neighbor. But we have older folks in this country. We have people who are on the extreme fringe. They harbor a lot of hatred or bias or anger. They're there. And again, I think Trump's appealing to them, and some other people are appealing to that. And to your point before, I don't think it's most Americans, but there's some in that category of real hate and bias and race.
Bart Rossi, Jose Lopez, Jeanette Hoffman, thanks so much to the Ebru Think Tank. We will see you next week. I'm Logan Crawford. Thanks, everybody.